because we just went from an easy thing to I don't know what this is.
Okay.
And it made me very worried.
You're very worried. Okay, so you're feeling worried.
I feel
Okay. Emma.
Okay, so I feel like really nervous because I was like, what is that? Like,
Okay.
I don't understand.
Okay.
And then, but then you were like, you said that we're going to be able to learn how to do this. And I was like, wow, I'm going to know how to do it so it won't be scary anymore.
I teach math, but I also teach mindset. Math is really just the vehicle for me to be able to instill in kids a mindset that will allow them to be successful in the world. So today it might be this challenge with simplifying an expression, but in their future it's going to be when they're getting into college, when they're starting their first job, when they're purchasing their house. There are so many challenges that they're going to face along the way, and if they continue along that path with a fixed mindset, they will just keep hitting their head against the wall. So social emotional learning to me is a way to help students develop those coping strategies, develop that self-awareness, the self-management, the regulation skills to be able to find success in the challenges that they face at school. This is work. Changing your mindset is as much work as doing the math equation.
I think it's something that we do without really thinking about it too much on a daily basis with our first graders. They need a lot of guidance with navigating coming to a new school, getting used to new friends, and it's something that we incorporate into everything that we do throughout the day.
It's not an isolated part of our day. We
Not
really
right.
mix it into everything that we're doing from the second they come in the door until they leave. If there's a sense of relationship even with the students and the teacher, everything, grows together. Their confidence level, their skill level, their sense of self and sense of joy of learning kind of grows at the same time.
It says we root for each other and watch each other grow, and it means we watch each other grow, help each other and watch each other.
When I think of social and emotional learning, to me it's a huge term, but to help it make sense to me, I think about it in two ways. One, teaching children to have a positive relationship with themselves, and secondly, to have positive relationships with other people around them.
Miles asked a question, what does it look like?
So in a fourth grade classroom, when we start at the very beginning of the year, we're talking about how we speak to ourselves when we're working on a problem. What positive self-talk are we going to use? How we set goals for ourselves. We try so hard to create an environment where the children aren't afraid to make mistakes and they embrace their mistakes and feel free to take risks. Most importantly, that they know how and when to ask for help.
We really try to work with the students to help them build empathy. Well, empathy can only come if they can see many different stories. So we explore things in social studies like a universe of obligation, try to understand, how are decisions made? Who, as a person, as a school community, as a state, as a country, do we think are important, and where do we put our resources, and why do we value certain groups more or less? And we can only have all those conversations if we set up ground rules, if we talk about civil discourse and what it means to listen to another person. And then that leads us to, well, how do we then teach these students, especially in a social studies environment, especially in a humanities class where we do so much collaborative work, how can we help them build relationship skills?
I find that my students come into my classroom with labels. These labels are things like, I'm good at math, I'm not good at math. I'm smart, I'm gifted. These labels create barriers to students moving forward when they're faced with discomfort, something that doesn't feel familiar to them. I decided to turn the tables on those labels and created my own label, which was, I call everyone from day one a mathematician. In September, I asked my students, what does it mean to be a mathematician? And they created a word cloud. The largest word for this class is intelligent, which meant that many students chose that word in describing a mathematician. I asked the same question in June, and the largest word was perseverance, followed by creativity.
I think we get our biggest bang for the buck, so to speak, in literature. When we read really meaningful, rich literature with the children, and we can have them observe the character's mistakes, observe character change, challenges, growth, and then talk about how that looks in our world. That's so powerful.
Today, our main objective is to use your knowledge of empathy which we read an article about empathy recently under Sept, to empathize with fictional characters using evidence.
Social emotional learning are basic skills that allow you to understand yourself, how you think, how you work, how you manage yourself. It enables you to know how to work well with other people, how to build relationships, how to make good decisions. If you can do those things, you can do anything in life and certainly in school.
We're counting on our educators, our skilled and caring educators, to help our students, support them, and help them practice their skills in social and emotional learning. Well, that's only going to happen if our educators are also taking the time to focus on their own social and emotional skills.
We kind of model that every single day, too, that the adults need help, too. This is a lesson that we are all learning as we travel through this world together, and it starts in our little first grade world, and they run with it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All of the things that are thrown at them academically, what's happening at home, what's happening in their relationships with their friends, it's a lot to handle as a teenager, and I think taking time to talk about how to navigate all of those different situations is something that we need to do, in education.
Because it's so obvious, we sometimes expect that children might know this already, and that's not the case. Of course, we want them to be excellent writers and phenomenal readers and creative mathematicians, but really what we want to remember first and foremost is that we are helping the children to be better and healthy people.
I think that's the goal, is realizing that the academics are really important in school, but so is, having empathy, being kind, solving problems.
I think they go hand in hand, right? You feel, if you're feeling good about yourself, you're more apt to help others, and I think your skills grow along with that.
Right.
Sense of confidence.
Smart brain and kind heart.
Smart brain, kind heart.